Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today, making this bracelet. I've already lost track of what the pattern number is. Wait, it's 4325 on friendshipbracelets.net. I decided this time I was going to go with the rainbow, but I would do it in very pastel colors. Makes it a little bit extra difficult to do. It's harder to pick out, like, oh, is this the blue? But because it's in the sequence of a rainbow, that sort of helps because some of the shades are a little bit more easy to kind of pick out from the others. So it kind of worked out in the end. The whole project took me an hour and some change, like hour and 2 minutes or so. So pretty average, pretty not so bad. The thing about this pattern that sort of makes it different is the fact that the red and the green don't continue doing the whole little zigzag thing where it ends up with like a small diamond on the end of it. And that's interesting to me because I don't know why I've never really thought about kind of doing it this way. It's always like once it starts to go into the zigzag, you just continue with that, and it's real easy to know that you're like continuing the pattern the way it's supposed to go because it just does the same thing again and again. But this one, see, like that was the red, and now the orange is going to come down and it'll get the little dot where the red didn't. And that's I don't know why I never really thought about doing that to the pattern itself. But it changes it up a bit. It happens on the red and it happens on the green, which kind of made it so that way I was kind of watching the pattern as I was making it, perhaps a little bit closer, trying to make sure that I wasn't making mistakes, because it did feel a little bit unnatural to me to try to, create this kind of pattern. Like I don't know what to say about it. It is interesting. It is different. The most difficult part of the bracelet though was probably the center. The center, we flipped it to make it go the other direction, but there was like a bit of a space in between that, and so it kind of zigzags a little extra. So that was probably why it took a little more than an hour. It was probably just that center bit in general. Oh, and in case you're curious, I did live stream making this for the members. So if you were into the idea of watching it getting built in real time, that's actual real possibility. It's one of the things members get to do. They get to, come in, chat, and watch things get built. So it doesn't happen every time. Like there'll be other times where I make the patterns or whatever on a live stream or whatever. It's just behind the scenes stuff. So I guess might as well these are the people who get that bonus. So yeah, special thanks to them. They get to see behind the scenes, get to comment on it. When I'm trying to come up with ideas and stuff, oftentimes I will ask them for their input. So it is a cute bracelet. I don't know if the pastel colors really does it the overall pattern justice, because it's sort of so light. And but yeah, I mean, even as like I'm holding it in my hand, even as I look at it, I'm kind of like, yeah, that is interesting. There is a lot going on. You don't notice the red and greens doing that thing where they don't zigzag. That's sort of hidden away, except for right towards the middle. Like I guess that red one, like that's really close to the center, that one seems to be a little bit more obvious just because it's right there, and then the orange comes in and it does that whole middle thing. But yeah, I like the bracelet. I like how it turned out. I'm not I'm not sure if I would actually use this pattern for like anything like double wides or whatever. I don't think there's a whole lot. I guess, I don't know. Double wide of this would be kind of interesting to see what it does. It'd be interesting to see like because I'm pretty sure down the middle, I'm pretty sure you'd end up with the bigger diamonds as opposed to the little diamonds that this thing has, right? It might be interesting to see because I'm not sure. Yeah. See, now my mind is busy thinking, would it make the bigger diamond? I don't know. Oh, if you're interested in the pattern itself, that's over on my website, akaawol.com. As well as like pretty much all the bracelets I do, I put the patterns over on the website. So that way people can give it a try themselves and see how it turns out. Oh, everything past the halfway point took a little bit extra pull on the strings to kind of tighten it up. It wants the V starts to kind of spread out a little bit. You have to kind of pull it in tight to get the straight edges. So like the first half is technically easier than the second half. Not by much, but it is noticeable. You'll probably see me trying to make adjustments and trying to keep it, inside as much as possible. Right. Yeah, it's not a beginner's pattern at all. This is definite intermediate stuff. I typically for the really difficult stuff is like where advanced is where you're having to cross off what you've done as you go along because it's so confusing that you're not sure where you're going. Anything less than that is probably intermediate, and then beginner is you basically know the first 2 knots and you're pretty okay with them, and you can use them to make stuff. So that's kind of how I rate it, in case you're wondering. I probably haven't covered that in a little while. So oh, that wasn't a mistake. That was a knot in my string from getting flung around. It ended up with a little knot in it. I took it out. So yeah, there were no mistakes. There was no freaking out over the directions of stuff. Again, though, I was looking at the pattern, making sure that I had it right. So I really think that's about it, guys. It was an okay bracelet. Like, there was no, other than trying out something I've never would have picked for myself. In fact, I think I didn't realize how different this pattern was when I first picked it. I was just like, okay, this is an arrowhead that's different, because it's got like such a small like dot at it. I didn't pick up on the fact of the green and the red right away. And then when I did kind of realize that was different, like, this is definitely worth giving a try. And yeah, I'm not disappointed. I definitely think this one is worth the challenge. Can't say I learned anything. I just got the gist of how it works, and was able to, to put it together and make it happen. See, there's another one of the red ones. Yeah, we're almost to the end, the big reveal. Thanks for hanging out with the video this long. This is much appreciated. It helps out probably more than you know. If you haven't already, hitting the like button would really also help as well. That like helps put it out in front of more people. At least that's my understanding. I don't know. I don't work for YouTube really. I just make videos. So hopefully hopefully it helps. It would be nice if it helped. Yeah, this is the very end here. I was like really eager to get it done and over with. So there you go. Thanks for watching. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.